So Tom Perez was at some sort of event here. You're going to have to bear with on the audio quality for this clip coming up, but he was asked if the DNC would actively support Democrats who end up being in favor of Kavanaugh. This should be good. Let's see what he has to say.
But is there room in the party for senators who vote for Judge Kavanaugh?
Well, listen, the Democratic Party has always been a party that's reflected a number of values. But one of those values, I think, has been that we need Supreme Court justices who are going to be fair and impartial. And, I mean, I think if a woman had done yesterday what Judge Kavanaugh did in terms of the shrill, we would have a series of stories today that would be remarkable.
I haven't quite heard a yes or no answer on whether it's acceptable for Democratic senators.
Well, the Democratic senators, there were Democratic senators who voted for Justice Gorsuch. Okay, I mean,
which was a bit of a different situation than what we're in today.
Well, again, and that's going to be up to them. But there were Democratic senators who did that, and that is a fact. And those are Democratic senators that I have worked very closely with, continue to work very closely with, and are working to help get reelected. And so that is a fact. That's the reality of what we see now. And
you would continue to work to get re-elect Democratic senators.
Of course, we're going to continue to work.
If they vote to.
Well, we don't know what they're going to do. And again, if I were a Democrat on this one, I would vote against Judge Kavanaugh.
I got to be honest with you guys, man. I'm tired of this. I'm tired. I'm just so tired. I'm just so tired. I feel beat down. First of all, you couldn't have scripted it in a funnier way, because when we make fun of Tom Perez, we do, we're Democrats and we want to lead with our values and we think values are important and we're for good people and we're against bad people. So I just want to let everybody know that we're not as bad as the other side and we want to lead with our values and we want to be stronger together. And we sure do want to break down the barriers also. So he says nothing. That's, he talked about values right out of the box. Like, dude, are you serious? You've become the caricature of yourself that we've portrayed. Really? You led with the values thing and then everything else, what was it? Mealy-mouthed nonsense. In so many words, he basically said, yeah, we're still going to actively support people who end up voting for Kavanaugh. That's what we're going to do. That's what he said. That was the implication of what he said. That's why he was trying to become Neo from the Matrix and dodge it. They have no idea what they're doing. They don't. Even if you say, oh, whatever, you got to be realistic politically. Okay, let's take all that, put it to the side. I'm going to grant you, even though I don't agree with it, I'm going to grant you, oh, well, it's just reality that some Democrats are going to vote for Kavanaugh, and then it is what it is. That's just a fact of reality. You do realize that when you're the head of the DNC, you're an important voice that can help shape reality. Even from just a political perspective, never mind policy, political. You have to stand for something to get people excited to vote for you. You have to stand for something. You can't say, well, if you do the opposite of the thing we want you to do, then we're going to support you still. What the fuck is that? Guys, in this country, among our elected officials, there is asymmetrical warfare going on right now. And it's provable. It's demonstrable. So let's give perfect examples here. Who's the number one Republican senator that the resistance now says, oh, well, we could work with that one. They're moderate. They're a reasonable Republican, unlike Trump, who's unreasonable. They're reasonable. Jeff Flake would be the number one that they point to today. Perhaps in the past, John McCain. He's no longer with us. Now it's Jeff Flake. Jeff Flake votes with Trump about 84% of the time, according to 538. I think the exact number is 83.6% of the time. That's not a moderate. That's somebody who damn near 85% of the time votes with the far-right Republican president. That's not a moderate. That's not a moderate. Now, if you had... So now let's go to the Democrat that they say is most in line with Republicans, Joe Manchin. So what should his voting record be? I guess it should be, 85% against Trump? So he votes with Trump 15% of the time. And 15%, that's a lot of shit to vote with Trump on, right? I mean, of all these issues, fucking tax cuts and deregulation and all the wars, I mean, voting with him 15% of the time, if things were even, if things were equal, that's what it would be, right? Joe Manchin votes with Trump 61% of the time. So do you see the game that's being played on you here? When it's a Democrat who's a moderate Democrat, more than half the time, moderate Democrat, more than half the time, they vote with the Republicans. When it's a Republican who's a moderate Republican who's supposed to cross the aisle and vote with Democrats, they only vote with Democrats like 15% of the time. You see the problem here? How do you ever get left-wing legislation through if your moderates are a majority of the time with the Republicans and the Republican moderates are only 15% of the time with you? And you have people argue, well, we have to maintain the status quo. What do you mean? Of course we should support people who support Kavanaugh. Just because they disagree with us on the core things that they should agree with us on doesn't mean they're our enemy. That is literally exactly what it means. That is 100% what it means. I mean, that's that's like a tautology. What are you talking about? Of course. How stupid are you? Oh my God. You can't help but conclude, they just don't care about the policies. Their actual belief system is, we're slightly better than the other guys. That's their actual belief system. That's Tom Perez's real belief system. He's a corporatist, and he's a neoliberal, and he's a warmonger in his own right, and he thinks, well, we just want power. So yeah, we're slightly better than them, but really what this is all about is we want power. He's not with you. He doesn't agree with you. He doesn't want Medicare for all. He doesn't want free college. He doesn't want a living wage. He doesn't want to end the wars. He doesn't want to end the drug war. He doesn't want a New Deal. You think that that's what he spends time thinking about? No, that's not what he spends time thinking about. He's constantly jockeying for position in a Machiavellian way. How do we accrue more power? How do we get more D's in office? But then when they're in office, what are they going to do? I don't know. Well, we just backed a lot of D's who supported Kavanaugh, so they're going to do nothing. They're going to do the same shit Republicans do, maybe 5% better, and you're going to shut up and take it. Oh, why didn't you show up to vote for us? I can't believe it. Well, maybe it's because of everything I just fucking laid out. Maybe it's because the onus is on you to get people out to vote, and you're not doing it in the proper way. You're going in the exact wrong direction. You're a joke. Would that ever happen in the other direction? Ask the head of the RNC. If they support this Democratic pick for Supreme Court, will you back them still? You want to know what the RNC would say? No, of course not. Why would we back them? They're against the thing that we want. Why would we back them? That makes no sense. It wouldn't make sense. But what do the DNC do? Well, yeah, we got to lead with our values, and leading with our values is good. And, hey, it was Kavanaugh, so I'm supporting Kavanaugh. Resign, Tom Perez. You're objectively terrible at your job. You don't know what the fuck you're doing. It's an embarrassment, and you're just a puppet of the people who are further up the Democratic ladder than you, who want to keep the party more corporatist. That's what you are. And it's a sham, and it's disgusting. And not only should you resign, but you should fucking apologize for everything that you've done while you've been in power.